I'm Claire from Created the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up in the UK. Thank you for joining me today. What's new this week? A new catalogue coming out on the 5th of January. As a demonstrator, I've had a lovely whole month of playing with new stuff. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of one of the new suites that's in it. Ready to ride. Look at this, isn't it amazing? Beautiful rose on the back of there. That actually comes in a really nice piece of designer series paper, black. Let me quickly show you. So lovely different papers. Quite a nice pumpkin pie colour mixed in with it. But we're going to be using some of those today. So let me show you the card that we're making. So if you haven't got a catalogue and you'd like one, just get in touch. If you have got one, wow, isn't there a load of lovely stuff in there? This card, open corner, not really sure, there's a few of them around. Different people call them different things. It's a fun fold. We like a fun fold here at Created the Ottaway. Usually I like to have a bit of a wow on the inside. I haven't done much with the inside. I'm thinking that maybe I could decorate the inside just as much as the outside, but I didn't want your video to go on too long. So I'm going to show you how to do the outside, how to do the basic card. It's really simple. It's one piece of card, two score lines there and one diagonal, and it's just the way you fold it. But that will fit in a standard size envelope here in the UK. Ta-da! But it'd be a really nice different card to receive or to gift to somebody. So, shall we get crafting? Okay, so I use basic grey for this one. I'm going to use basic grey again. I layered it with crumb cake and use the designer series paper. I'm going to do similar, but I think I'm going to layer the basic grey with black this time. So I'm hoping that that shows up on camera. So these are what you need. You need a base piece of card that is 7 inches by 8 5/8, and then I'll talk you through what to do. A piece of card for the inside. I've put white there, but I actually used the crumb cake because I liked the contrast. 4 by 5 5/8, and then the different layers of squares on the front, the different sizes. So this square is 2.5 by 2.5, and I've just layered it down again. This panel is 1, and I think I actually done it. Did I do it 1 1/4? I'll check that for you. 1 1/4 by 2.5, and this one is 2.5 by 3. And then I just stamped on the inside with the new stamp set. Legendary Ride. So some really nice little stamps going on there. You get dies that match it as well if you're into the matching dies. And the only other thing that I've used is for a bit of dirt effect, because it is a motorbike, I've used this splatter from the Quiet Meadow. So if you see me use a bit of a splatter pattern, that's where that's come from. I think that's it. I get my paper trimmer. The Stampin' Up paper trimmer is absolutely perfect for projects like this because you've got a cutting and a scoring blade all on the same groove. So you just take your A4 sheet, and we're going to cut it on the short side at 7 inches. So we need to open the arm out. When I first got my paper trimmer, I didn't know that that arm came out. Well, how would you? It just comes in a box, all nice and neatly packed, not battered like mine is now from overuse. Genuinely didn't know that this arm slid out from here. I also didn't know that there was a layer of plastic film on there that kept it clean for ages. I thought there was something wrong with mine when it started peeling. I'm older and wiser now. So 7 inches by 8 5/8. Oh, new setup, and I've just knocked the camera. So 8 5/8 is actually a line after 8.5. So if you're struggling with the measurements, just go to 8.5 and go to the next sort of line after, which is just under 22 centimetres. So you just cut that off and you're left with these two pieces that you can use for sandcastles. You could put a belly band around your card to keep it together if you want to, just so that you're using all your scraps. It's up to you. If you turn it back to your 7-inch side being at the top, so let's just check that. What we're going to do is score down this edge at 2 3/4. So let's just check that's 2 3/4. Make sure your cutting blade is out of the way. And you want 2 3/4. Now if you turn it sideways so that your top piece is now on this side, score that at 2 3/4. Like so. So that gives you those panels, a square in the corner, which is going to be a folded over square, and then these two panels which will fold in. Now we need to put a diagonal line from here to here. So what you need to do is find 5.5 along the top, and then using a pencil or a pen or even the scoring blade here, you're just going to mark a little notch there. So I tend to do it with my scoring blade, but some people do it with a pencil, just a little line there. And I need the same mark here. So I found that the easiest way for me to do it is to find 5.5 along there and do the notch here. Okay, so hopefully you can see that on camera, but I'm doing a little notch there, just on the edge. So now when I turn this back to the right way up, so my square is in the corner, I've got a little notch there and a notch there. Now the cutting guide, you're going to line those notches up diagonally. So I've got one there, and that should, if it's in the right place, go straight through your corner point there. So you can get rid of your cutter because you don't need that for the time being, and you're just going to do some burnishing. So if you've got a bone folder, try I've got somewhere, I'm going to fold the top half in, or the top fold in, and just burnish that. Make sure it's all lined up nicely, like so. Go this side over and just burnish that. So I usually go from the middle out, just because it gives you a nice edge. And then do the same with the diagonal line. So do the diagonal line, go from the middle out, like so. So that should give you those crease lines. Now what we're going to do now is the square is going to be flat on the outside. Can you see there? So we need to fold these pieces in. So we bring the top over and then fold it back on itself. That does that one. Then you can bring the side in and bring that over, and there you go. Ta-da! Simple little card, isn't it? But how effective. Okay, so just burnish that corner down, and that's it. Your card's done. The decoration is down to you. So what should we do first? Should we do the inside piece? So I've already measured my inside piece that's going to go there. And what did I say? It was 4 by 5 5/8. So if I open that out, it just gives a nice little border around. Now before I stick it down, I'm going to stamp a sentiment this way. Now in my stamp set, the one that I'm using, it's got a couple of different sentiments, but they're this way up. So I'm just going to turn one sideways. So I'm going to put the ride on It's Your Birthday, but instead of putting it that way round, I'm going to put it that way round. So it's going to go there. So I've got my block. I'm going to use black stays on ink. I'm just going to put that on there. Okay, now I am going to do it with the card in place, just so I can see roughly how much room I've got. So that's my border round. So I've got a really big gap. The other thing that I've just noticed is around the edge of my stamp, there's a black edge. So I'm just going to get rid of that black edge all around there, because when I stamp I don't want it to come out. Make sure it's the right way round, and I'm just lining up the bottom with the edge, but sort of putting it midway and then just pressing down like that. Right on, it's your birthday, so it's in the perfect place, and I'm really happy with the way it's stamped as well. Ta-da! Lots of ta-das today. I'm in that sort of ta-da mood after Christmas excitement of a new year. Okay, so I'm still not going to stick that down because I think I'm going to do the decoration on the inside of the bike and everything, but I'm happy with where that is, so I'm going to get on with doing the front. So this square first. So this square was 2.5 by 2.5. I've got all sorts of bits here. So here's stuff I got ready earlier. So that is going to go on there. I've got a square of the designer series paper. Now all of Stampin' Up's paper coordinates and is two-sided, so really it takes all of the stress out of it. So I know whichever side I put, it's going to coordinate. But I'm going to put this as my sentiment. That actually looks really nice, so I might do that behind. Or I could do like I have on the other one, where I've done this piece of paper because it just brightens up the corner. Put that on there, and then this is like tyre tracks, and I've just put that behind. I think I'm going to do the same actually. So I'm going to stick that down just with my Tombow. So the card is 2.5 by 2.5. So this is 1/8 of an inch smaller, which is 2 3/8. Still thinking, oh, covering up the tyre tracks. I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's quite a glossy paper. I know it's got blue on it now, so you probably can't. Let's come over this way a bit. So that's just 1/8 of an inch smaller, and you can see it gives you a really nice border around the outside. Now the stamp, I've already stamped on a piece of crumb cake so that it matches the inside, and just trimmed it round. Nothing fancy, just literally trimmed it round with some scissors. The tyre tracks I want to stick out either side, so what I'm going to do is cut that in half, just because I think I needed it a bit bigger. Cut that in half, put some glue either side on this. Like so, turn it over and just see how much I need it sticking out. About there, and roughly level, so about there. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals just to stick it in place. There's not a lot of weight on here, so I don't need to use too many. Probably 2 is enough. Okay, and that is going to go on there. And then I've taken some inspiration from the catalogue for this. So if you look on this card here, it's got the same sentiment that I've used, the same tyre, and then it's got these little metal sticky bits, embellishments. So they come on a sheet like this, and there's different sizes. So I'm going to use some of the same ones. Oh, that's a black one, so we don't want a black one. It's going to stick to me now because I've left my pokey tool in the other room. What do you use to put your embellishments on? I usually use my pokey tool because it's really handy for that. Good old Stampin' Up, think of everything. So that's my corner. Just going to put some glue on there. You could do a similar corner for the inside because it's going to be exactly the same size. So if I bring that back over, that is going to fit really rather nicely in that corner there. Ta-da! Stop saying ta-da, Claire, it's getting annoying, isn't it? I can hear. Right, the next square or rectangle. So this is 2.5 by 3 and I'm just layering it up with this. I'm also going to colour it just to add a bit of detail with my Stampin' Blends in Pumpkin Pie the same. So I'm not, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just picking out detail that I think would just add a bit of colour. So anything that's got lines like this on, not the windows because I don't think they would be, but the roof might be. Let's do the roof. Add a bit of detail there. Maybe this cacti. Not even being careful. A little bit of foliage here, just going around it. Maybe this cacti sign here. I feel like something else down here. Let's do one of these lines along here. Oh, let's do the whole lot. Now we started. Okay. A little bit there, a little bit there. Go over it with my lighter pumpkin pie, just to add some shading. It will just look like the paper's been printed like this. See, you're just doing this for your benefit so that the colours of the card all tie together, and because it's Stampin' Up, you know that the colours are going to coordinate. Just use the same one. So the Stampin' Blend that I've used is a light pumpkin pie and a dark pumpkin pie because that's what colour this orange is. Oh, everything's moving. So if I put that on there, and that again, the designer series paper is 1/8 smaller, so that gives you that really nice border, and in the black it really pops off. On my other one I put a bit of black cord around. Do I want to do that? Yeah, let's do that. So what I do is do a little nick on one side, just a tiny little triangle. I'm not sure the lighting is that great for you to see on the black. If I put it down on the paper, will you be able to see even better? So, oh, not, probably not because it's black. So I've taken a tiny little triangle out of the black card, not of the DSP, and I'm just looking across to get the other side, and I'm going to do the other side there, just so that it goes across straight. And all that does is give somewhere for my twine to sit in, so that it doesn't move up and down the card. So when I wrap it round, it goes into those grooves. I just do it a couple of times. I don't want to do a bow on it. It's not that sort of card, so I'm just going to tie it in a knot. Hopefully I've given myself enough twine to do that. And I've got sticky fingers, so it's sticking to my fingers. Oh, typical. Right, do that again. Oh, that's going this time. Okay, so just pull that tight, like so, and that will just sit down like that. If it doesn't sit down, just tuck it behind, and then that will hold it down, like that. Okay, so a bit of glue on the back of there. Let's see if we can put that on the front. So it's the panel that's underneath here. Oh, nice. And can you see how the pumpkin pie colouring on there just picks up the pumpkin pie colouring on the square above? So it just ties it in straight away, and you've literally not had to do too much effort. Right, do I stick that in now, or shall I do the other rectangle? Let's do this rectangle. So this rectangle, let me check the size. So I did it 1 3/8 of an inch by 2.5. That's going to go there. And I now just need to decide what paper to put on the top of it. So I don't think I cut paper for this one. So if I bring the paper over, we can have a look. That looks okay, but because we've put the black border, I think we need something that's a bit more, got some black on it. What about this one? Let's have a look. That's quite nice. Let's do that. What's on the other side? All those beautiful roses that I told you about. Can you see those? Okay, let me put a bit of that off. So that is going to be... see if that fits. So does that go on there? Yeah, perfect. So that's going to go on there. I'm just going to go around the edge because it's got a white core. I'm just going to go around and get rid of that white core because otherwise it's going to stand out on the card. So I'm just using the side of the blender as that's all I've got in front of me at the moment. Going to go on there, and then I think we put that on and it's just the inside to do. Yep, so that fits perfectly on there. I love this card. It's really hard sometimes to do cards for people that aren't into flowers, and so it's nice to have some sort of different stamp sets to play with. So let's put a big bike on there. So if I stamp that, that's going to be that way round. I don't want it to be showing past there, so I'm going to keep it over this side. I am going to use a smaller block because what I'm going to do is just stamp half of the bike. Okay, so I will only ink up what's on the block. Okay, so and that means I don't get ink everywhere. Okay, so I might go a bit further there. So can you see I've only inked up half the block? Bring that back over and put it about there. So you've got half of it, ta-da! And then do you remember those splodges I said about? I feel like it needs a bit of splodges, some muddy bike splodges. So I'm going to stamp them in the black, but then I'm going to take some of them off a bit. So let's do it on the back. So it's not so dark. That's better, isn't it? Like so. Can you see that? Okay, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of there. And then I think we might be done. So if you've liked this great little fun fold card, I try and do a video every Friday, life permitting. You know what it's like. But usually every Friday, so look out for me. There are plenty of other videos to follow along. Fun cards, albums, all sorts. Just go and check me out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell and you'll get notifications of when I've posted a video. If you're in the UK, you can shop with me online at createdtheottaway.co.uk, or just sign up for my newsletter there and you will find out about all my workshops, my craft events and all sorts of other interesting stuff. So I hope you liked it. Two very similar cards, one with crumb cake border, one with black border. They don't look too different, do they? But they also do. So give it a go, share your makes with me, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.